Good morning. Happy Monday. Whoa. Okay, we got a jam packed event to kick off your week right. As Becky mentioned, I'm Django. I'm an organizer with Rank the Vote NYC. And man, we're just so happy to be working with these candidates to get the word out about ranked choice voting. So on Saturday, early voting started in the first ever ranked choice voting election in New York City, making history right here in my hometown, Queens. Ranked choice voting allows voters to rank five of their preferences. You can still vote for one like you traditionally would, but with ranked choice voting, the more choices on your ballot means the more power to your vote. And I would say ranked choice voting is very much needed for our city. Of course, us New Yorkers living in one of the most diverse places in the world. That's why ranked choice voting has been proven to help elect more women, people of color, and first time candidates. And that's exactly what our panel today looks like. At Rank the Vote NYC, we are dedicated to educating voters on the new system. We've hosted nearly 30 training sessions alone in the last month, giving campaigns and candidates the tools to educate their voters about ranked choice voting. We've hosted forums with candidates and community leaders, all to spread the word about it. Just last week on Friday, I was tabling at Jamaica Queens in CD24 with our partners at Chaya, telling our neighbors was good, speaking to them in my mother tongue, in Bangla, in that huge Bangladeshi community about these new changes to our election. And that's why we're just so excited to be partnering with you all for the Ranked Choice Voting Week of Action and to hear more about your work and what you've been doing this week to educate voters. All right, and it looks like we actually got a lot of folks on this call right now who are doing all this amazing work, and we want to make sure that everyone gets to speak about their events. So please keep your remarks to 1 minute. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Sandy Nurse. Hi, Sandy.
Hi, good morning. And good morning to all the candidates here and to Rank the Vote. Thank you all for being here. So I just want to, before I start, I just wanted to give a real shout out and appreciation to my team, especially Anna, Alexis, and Seamus for organizing and really following through on wrangling trainings to make sure this week of action happens. So shout out to y'all. I'm so excited to kick off this event, this Ranked Choice Voting Week of Action. And the whole thinking behind this week of action really was to show that we need leaders that are committed to facilitating democracy as the voters wish. And we understand that there are concerns about voters being prepared in time to fully realize the benefits of ranked choice voting, but that is a challenge that we should expect our elected leaders and the Board of Elections to really tackle head on. So rather than spend money and time on lawsuits to stop ranked choice voting, we need to organize within our communities. And this is an all hands on deck phase where we should be enlisting the support of community-based organizations, training people on how to do voter education, and distributing as much information as possible so that voters are really aware. And just like we rapidly showed people how to participate in mail-in voting, how we made thousands of calls to households to explain application deadlines, just like we got out there and raised the participation rates of the census, we can also get voters ready for ranked choice voting. And just briefly, lastly, what's really incredible is that this new cohort of the City Council is really going to be filled with organizers and problem solvers who are really ready to rise to these types of challenges and do everything we can to support the will of New Yorkers. So I just want to thank all of you for the work you're doing on the ground. I'm really excited to co-host on Thursday a ranked choice voting workshop with Jen Gutierrez, who's running in District 34. It's going to be bilingual. We're really excited to partner with Cuff Action, which is a member-led organization in our area. So thank you all for being here, and thank you, Rank the Vote, for the work you are doing.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Sandy. I'm really excited about this new cohort too. All right, and with that, now I'll pass it over to Tiffany Caban.
Hey y'all, good morning. I am Tiffany Caban, candidate running in Council District 22, includes Astoria, Rikers Island, parts of Woodside, East Elmhurst, and Jackson Heights, and I'm proud to be here with Rank the Vote NYC.
Not a good look.
So many of my colleagues.
Right for a Democratic primary.
Mute Jeff.
Sorry.
Listen, the people have spoken, and we demand ranked choice voting because it strengthens our democracy. You know, the traditional system of politics is designed to keep out working class and first-time candidates. And our RCV gives candidates with both bold ideas and the shared lived experiences of marginalized communities the space to run. It gives us the opportunity to transform our political possibilities. So looking forward to throwing down with my fellow candidates to educate our communities. I'll be tabling and doing virtual trainings. We need to elect every Black, brown, immigrant, queer, working class, progressive who will fight for and center our most vulnerable, and RCV is going to help us do it. So together as a community, we're gonna model what democracy looks like. You know, this is what democracy looks like. So proud to be here with y'all. Thanks.
Great. Thank you so much, Tiffany. Now I'll pass it over to Amanda Farias.
Good morning, everyone. Really excited to be here. Thank you for to Rank the Vote for putting us all together for a week of action to inform our communities. The voters requested a more equitable voting system, and we're here together with months before the election, really racing to ensure the electorate is informed and understands how their votes with ranked choice voting are empowering. So many more people can participate now and be prepared to vote with confidence in the ballot booth. For me, I think, and for all of us, you know, as usual, our communities have to step up. Women of color have to step up, bear the burden of educating and ensuring voters have all the tools they need to vote with confidence. That's why I'm super excited to be here with everyone in all of our communities across the 5 boroughs, really working hard to ensure that we're letting our electorate know, we're letting our neighbors and voters know of all language, of all backgrounds, of all necessities, that they can show up on our week long of voting and on election day to actually know what they're doing in the polls and be able to cast the most votes they want or the least amount of votes they want for the people they want to represent them in their community. So I'm excited about this week of action, the training I'll be co-hosting, and the many more of the community events throughout the city and in the Bronx that are going to be hosted to make sure we get out the ranked vote. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Amanda. You said it yourself, all languages, all backgrounds. I love it. All right, and now I'll pass it over to Crystal Hudson.
Thank you. Good morning. Good to see everyone. I'm excited to join Rank the Vote NYC for this week of action and to spread the word about ranked choice voting. It's clear voters like RCV, and we've seen cities with RCV have seen significant gains for candidates of color. RCV also makes our democracy more fair, more just, and more equitable, as others have already said. This week, our campaign is hosting its first RCV training with a few other candidates, some of whom are here today. Please join us on Thursday at 6 p.m. if you're available. You can find everything at crystalforbk.com. Over the next few months, we're going to continue to work to educate voters across the district and the city, and also continue to press the city to implement a robust, culturally competent, and multilingual education campaign to ensure that all New Yorkers know how to vote when they go to the polls this year. We must ensure all New Yorkers, no matter their background, know about RCV and are as excited as I am to rank their vote for the first time in our city's history. So looking forward to all of the trainings and to working with everyone. And thank you, Rank the Vote NYC.
So Django's internet has copped out, so I will be taking over. So next we will hear, so thank you, Crystal. Next we hear from Alita Gagrin. Alita.
Hey y'all, I am so excited to be here. I'm thrilled to take part in the RCV Week of Action to make sure that my community has the opportunity to learn how ranked choice voting works and how it strengthens our democracy. It was passed with overwhelming support by New Yorkers who want to be and deserve to be fully heard. Our campaign is committed to doing that education, and the thing that I am most excited about, in addition to creating more space for more people of color, more women, more queer folks, more progressive folks to run, is that it allows us to run on big, bold policies outwardly and unabashedly. And it also allows voters to not fear how they're voting because they're afraid someone worse, right? This removes the sort of lesser evil choice out of voting. And I'm really stoked about that. I'm going to be co-hosting an event this week with Justine Kaur, who's here, my homie, and it'll be Thursday at 8 p.m. on Zoom. So come join us if you can. Thanks, y'all.
All right. Thank you so much, Alita. I'm back because I want to hear from you guys, of course. Now I'll pass it over to Brandon West.
Hey everyone, Brandon West. I'm running this Council 39. So that's Cobble Hill, Carroll Gardens, Park Slope, down to Windsor Terrace and a bit Kensington, a bit of Borough Park. A lot of people are saying really all the right points about how important ranked choice voting is. I just want to plug in that we were also here before it was passed. I remember working on Let New York Vote Coalition to get it passed, and I remember being around lots of women, people of color, a wide variety of folks who were interested in it and wanted to do the work. And and vote. And when the city of New York voted for it, we voted for it in large majority. And I think there were a lot of folks who benefit from not having ranked choice voting and not modernizing our elections and keeping them as easy to game as possible. And this is about pushing back on that and really bringing people into our systems and our democracy. And that is a power conversation. I think it's really important. And I think we need to lift that up as we go into the electoral cycle, because there's still a lot of questions. We're going through a lot as a city. It's a difficult time. Democracy is still very important. It was important last year when we had the pandemic during the same time. And, folks who like to benefit from systems not being accessible tend to do that when those situations happen. So we as candidates have to push back on that. And I think we're all doing that. I think the people want that. And I think it really, as long as we're putting out a message, we have to put out the message of ranked choice voting. And I think, the people want it and people understand it. It's not something that people can't understand. We do it in our everyday life. So really excited to be part of this week and really excited to keep the fight on.
Yes, thank you so much, Brandon. All right, and now I'll pass it over to Pirina Sanchez.
Hello, thank you so much. So listen, I'm just going to join in with my fellow candidates to say, to underscore the importance of ranked choice voting, right? For far too long, women of color, people from underrepresented backgrounds are told we need to wait, right? You're younger, you need to wait your turn to run for office. And it's reforms like ranked choice voting that help us push back on those narratives and open up opportunities for us to run. And I'm excited that New York City is going to have ranked choice voting, even despite some of the challenges that we'll have ahead of us, right? So just to give an example, and somebody already shared this, right? This summer, before it got cold, I was out teaching salsa classes in our parks, right? I'm a salsera. I love all Latin dance, bachata, merengue, salsa. And I was out there teaching salsa, and I was teaching it to get people to fill out the census. And I was doing that in Spanglish. So así seguiremos. La campaña nuestra es una campaña de servicio para la comunidad. Ours is a campaign of service, and we're going to continue to be. The next lesson, the next education piece that we have to take to our people is RCV, and we're going to do that. So I'm excited to work alongside all of y'all. We'll mention some of the ways that we're collaborating in this coming week, but it's only the beginning. And for me, for my team, please join us tonight at 8 o'clock. We're going to be training our trainers, our volunteer leaders, to talk about ranked choice voting in our community. So thank you for organizing this.
Sure, of course. All right, and now you'll hear from Shahana Hanif.
Hi, everyone. I'm thrilled to join my friends and fellow candidates today for the launch of this Ranked Choice Voting Week of Action. I'm Shahana Hanif, City Council candidate in District 39, Brooklyn through and through, and fighting for a feminist government. 2 years ago, New Yorkers voted yes on one in a landslide to bring ranked choice voting to New York City. And the first RCV election is already underway in Council District 24. As the largest city in the US to adopt RCV, we have an opportunity to show what a multiracial democracy looks like and to sustain it. As a result of RCV, Minneapolis has the most diverse city council in America, and we're leaders like Andrea Jenkins and Philippe Cunningham. I'm super excited to partner with candidates Crystal Hudson, Althea Stevens, Felicia Singh, and Amanda Farias for our RCV training this Thursday, which we're hosting in Spanish and Bangla. The success of RCV is on us. I'm so ready. Let's do this.
Yes, let's do this. I love that. All right. And with that, I'll kick it over to Sarah Lind.
Hey everyone, great to be here with you all. I'm so proud of this coalition. I worked really hard in 2019 helping with Common Cause and many of you here to get RCV passed because we know that it is a much better voting system than simple plurality. So super excited about that. I want to amplify something that I think hasn't come out as much, but is another benefit of RCV is friendlier campaigning and candidates working together. So I'm super proud to be here today with Jeffrey Omura, another candidate in District 6. We are doing our event together on Friday, drag queen happy hour, pregame for the drag race, and we're going to be educating voters in our district and all around the city if they want to come about what RCV is. And we're going to be working together, and I think it's going to be really exciting to see candidates in districts working together in a friendly and collaborative way. So I'm super excited about that. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Yeah, definitely. There's less nastiness now with ranked choice voting, even though I am a Gemini and I love drama. No, I'm kidding. Hey, now you'll hear from Marjorie Velasquez.
Hey everyone, thank you all for setting this up. Thank you for including me. As you know, 2017 would have been a little different in my area had RCV been in there when somebody, my opponent, never secured 50% either in the primary or in the general. And it's about having the opportunity to represent all. And it's the opportunity to never have these games again where you drop in a candidate and take away votes from somebody else, right? It's about uniting our power, our strength, and letting people know that we are together in changing what our electorate looks like. More women of color, and literally empowering our voices and saying enough is enough and that we've got this and we're going to all work together. Looking forward to several events this week. Shout out to Mino, shout out to Perina, Harold, Ahmet. We got this and we're going to have a great time this week. Looking forward to spending time with you all.
Thank you so much, Marjorie. More women, period. Okay, now I'll pass it over to Jeffrey Omura.
Hey everyone, it's so great to see such an incredibly diverse group of candidates, and it makes me really excited and really optimistic for the future of representation right here in New York City. We're going to have a city council that looks like the people of this city, and ranked choice voting is going to help us do that. It gives the residents of this city more options, more power, and more choice. It lets us showcase our policies and our values and partner with other candidates who share those policies and values. And I'm so excited that Sarah and I will be hosting this drag queen ranked choice voting event Friday at 6:30, and we'll be finished in time for everyone to tune into the actual drag race at 8 p.m.
That sounds so exciting. I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Jeffrey. All right, and now I'll pass it over to Chiose.
Good morning, beautiful people. Thank you, Rank the Vote, and every candidate on this call for voting this true form of democracy. Beginning this February, New Yorkers will no longer be governed by candidates garnering support from less than half of their voting constituents. RCV encourages compromise and coalition building and promises broader support for elected representatives. It is also less intuitive than conventional elections and requires some explaining. We all deserve to have our voices heard. With RCV, you get to be represented by your elected, even if they weren't your first choice. We candidates can build consensus, reduce polarization, and focus on all constituents, not just trying to win a specific demographic. Elections are competitions to win votes, but democracy is a daily exercise in civic engagement and mutual assistance. I'm excited to attend many of the events that are organized this week, and thank you, Rank the Vote, for putting this together.
Of course. Thank you so much, Chi. Now I'll pass it over to Lincoln Rustler.
Oh, great. Thank you so much, Rank the Vote, for having me. It is great to be here with such an awesome group of candidates. I'm feeling really good about 2021. I want to thank all of the organizations behind Rank the Vote, especially Common Cause, that's been doing just an amazing job. And I want to give a special shout out to my friend running in North Brooklyn, who's done so much to push this week of action, Sandy Nurse. So thank you, everything you're doing, Sandy. We're doing a big training Wednesday night for folks in our district and hope that we get a big turnout. I believe in ranked choice voting because it empowers every voter across the city. And, you know, the last time we had an open seat in the 33rd district way back in 2009, the party machine supported the candidate, won one neighborhood across the whole district, and that was more than enough to win in an 8-candidate race. The machine delivered the vote in one community, and that empowered our candidate, the current incumbent, to win. That's not how politics should work. And what's exciting about ranked choice voting is that it encourages each and every one of us to be engaging neighbors across every corner of our districts and getting them involved in the political process. It empowers every voter, and that is a beautiful thing. So thank you so much, and psyched to be part of this week of action, and psyched that everybody's doing so much good work to educate our future constituents.
Yes, of course. Thank you so much, Lincoln. You said it. We're reaching every corner in 2021 and going forward. All right, and now I'll pass over to Stacy Lynch. Stacy Lynch on? Well, if not,
yeah, move on. If she's
okay,
on, we'll include her.
Sure, we'll pass it over to Jasleen Kaur. Hey, Jasleen.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for having us rank the vote. To all of our fellow candidates out here. And of course, I have to give my flowers to Django, who's one of our District 23 residents out here in Eastern Queens. And I'm really excited about the new frontier of ushering in a new democracy, not just here in Eastern Queens, but across New York City. And I'm really excited to see one of the first ranked choice voting elections happening just in my neighboring district in District 24. And so I think that, you know, many of us already on this call today were part of that process of voting in this ballot measure to keep and build up our base, build up democracy, and really train up our people to make sure that we're committed to making sure that our constituents, our voter bases, and our fellow neighbors and friends are part of a more democratic process in our New York City elections, and our voters cannot continue to be left in the dark. So not just as candidates, but as organizers, we have a commitment to training people up to a process that's going to make their vote go even further. And so, you know, this is what the people have demanded. As many of us have already delineated on this call today, we've had an overwhelming majority of over 73% of New Yorkers who wanted this to be in place. And so we can't walk back that commitment of the people. And so, you know, I think that this is an incredible way for us to transform what the face of political representation can look like. We've already seen in the Bay Area that the representation of people of color has increased over 30% from non-ranked choice voting to ranked choice voting. And it's up to us. It's our duty to make sure that we're ushering that in New York City, and we can't be the last ones to bring in a new kind of democracy. And so it looks like people like us, it looks like every single one of us on this call, and I'm proud to be working alongside my sister, Alita Gagarin, in District 2029 to make sure that we're training up our people, bringing language justice into the fold of democracy building, and committing to making sure that every single person understands how we vote, how the vote goes further, and ensuring a kind of political system that bolsters people that look like us and building up a power for Black and Brown organizers who are really going to shake up the next city council in 2021. So I'm excited to share this space with every single one of you, and I look forward to this amazing week of action.
Yes, snaps to all of that. All right, now you'll hear from Amit Baga.
Thank you so much. Sorry. Thank you so much for having me here today. Thank you to Rank the Vote. Thank you to Common Cause. Thank you to all of the candidates who are part of this incredibly important week of action. I'll simply say that if we collectively believe that Twitter should matter less and that clearly articulated policy visions sped along by a little friendly and not nasty competition should matter more, then ranked choice voting is our preferred choice of voting methods. As so many of the other candidates have said, this is really about empowerment. It's about equity. It's about diversity in our leadership. And it is yet another step in the very long path that we have been on to major structural changes to how we not only run elections here in New York City, but how we govern. We have a bar setting matching funds program, one of the best in the country, which has really helped empower candidates of color, queer candidates, women candidates. We've gone a long way in terms of breaking the stranglehold of county parties, in terms of the death grip that they've held on our politics for so many years. And historically, for those of us who've been around for a little while, we know that people like us, people like everyone on this call, were really kept out of our system. Now that we've gotten a lot of big money out of our politics, it's time that we make sure that everybody's vote counts as much as possible, and ranked choice is the way to do that. And as we saw with the census, last year when I led the city's $40 million census campaign, there is nothing that can replace culturally and linguistically competent education when it comes to ensuring that our communities are truly informed and empowered when it comes to the ways in which they engage civically and the ways in which they vote. So we have an enormous job to do as candidates. I'm sad to say, I think we all know that unfortunately the Board of Elections will be reliably unreliable in making sure that New Yorkers are fully informed and empowered about ranked choice voting. So I'm really proud to be partnering with so many of the candidates that are on the call, from Harold Miller to Marjorie Velazquez, Stacey Lynch, Pierina Sanchez, and Moy Barnes, to hear more. Others, we're having an event on Friday. We'll be sharing more information about that later today. And we're going to be having a lot of events over the course of the next several weeks right here in District 26, an incredibly diverse district here in Western Queens. Our events will be interpreted in Bangla, Spanish, as well as other languages. And I'm really excited to be working with this amazing coalition of leaders to make sure that we're fully engaged and educated about ranked choice voting and bring real change to the City Council this year.
All right, thank you so much, Amit. Yeah, definitely. Education should be the word of the day all the way until June 22nd. Okay, and with that, I'll pass it over to Jennifer Gutierrez.
Hi, y'all. Good morning. Thank you so much, Django, and buenos dias. My name is Jennifer Gutierrez. I'm running in beautiful District 34, which I got to represent. I'm really lucky. I get two boroughs, Queens and Brooklyn. Tiffany was going to come at me. But I'm really lucky to also be here with so many of y'all candidates who are progressive, who have a ton of faith in our constituency. I think all the points here about the benefits of ranked choice voting have been already highlighted, which is about transparency, which is about offering opportunities to marginalized communities to run for office. And it's also an opportunity for our communities, for marginalized communities, to be involved. For too long, our campaigns have focused on bases, have focused too much on the people that already have the information, and have purposely excluded folks that have very little access to it. And I think as elected officials, it is 100% their responsibility to inform their constituents about what this process is going to look like. And I believe that us as candidates, when we made the decision to run, we made a commitment to serve, we made a commitment to engage with voters. And I think what we're doing here is pushing back on the loud message that a lot of these folks that are opposing ranked choice voting are saying, which is we don't want to do the work, which is we don't believe it's important to educate all people. And all of us here today through our week of action are saying that's garbage, and we're pushing back. And I'm so happy that we're all collaborating. I'm down to collaborate as well. Like Sandy said, we have our first joint workshop this Thursday in English and Spanish. I would love to hear from more of y'all how it's going on in your district, but it's gonna really take a team effort, and we just have to lean on one another. So I'm here in solidarity, and good luck to all of us, not just the election, but on informing folks about ranked choice voting. Thank you.
Yes, love that solidarity. All right, thank you so much, Jennifer. I'll pass it over to Laura now.
Hi, everyone. It's great to see you all. I'm excited to be here today. Thank you, Rank the Vote. Yeah, this is about democracy. This is about making sure that so many of us who have been, unseen, unheard, unappreciated, say, aquí estamos y no nos vamos, and our voices matter and our votes matter. As so many of the candidates have said, the establishment and the way that things have been done is not the way things are going to continue to move forward, and ranked choice voting allows us to do that. It's not about blocks of people who have shown that they vote. It's about making sure that we are engaging our community as an educator, as a cultural organizer. We have been doing this work when it comes to census, when it comes to voter participation, and we're excited as a campaign to also be doing events with fellow candidates. We have one with Marjorie Velasquez, Bronx in the House, this Friday, and then also be doing events in Spanish, events for our immigrant community, events for engaging young people in this work, because young people are where it's at, and they're going to be helping to dictate democracy. Thanks to ranked choice voting, I am confident we will have the most diverse and progressive city council New York City has ever had. Queer women, people of color, and I can't wait to both campaign in this way, coalition build, because that's how we govern and that's how we change our city for the better and make it the more equitable place that it should be and we know it can be. Así que gracias, super excited to be here y pa'lante. Thank you.
I can't wait either, Mino. Thank you so much. All right, now I'll pass it over to Shekhar Krishnan.
Good morning, everyone. Buenos dias. It's so awesome to see so many friends here today too, and fellow candidates. Thank you so much to Rank the Vote. Thank you, Django. Thank you, Sandy, for among us all as candidates, really leading us in this effort too. My name is Shekhar Krishnan, and I'm running for City Council in Elmhurst and Jackson Heights, Queens. And as we've heard so many saying already too, I mean, voting is a fundamental civil right in our city, in our state, in our country. And we've got to be doing far more to actually protect that right to vote and expand it. And ranked choice voting is one of the most basic and fundamental ways to be doing that, to making sure that all our voices in our communities are heard, to making sure our democratic process is inclusive and participatory. And honestly, as I said before, we've got to be doing everything we can to expanding and protecting the right to vote. And this is such a critical way of doing so. And the other point is that, as someone said before too, this was passed by an overwhelming majority of the people. This is really the will of New Yorkers. And that's why we've got to be spending our resources on actually implementing it, not leading bogus lawsuits against challenging it or stopping it. I think we've seen how in a lot of these fights, whether it's the rent laws, other things too, so many spend wasted resources on litigation, trying to challenge things, rather than actually protecting such a basic civil right like our voting laws and ranked choice voting. So I'm super excited too. This Thursday at 8 o'clock, every week we have community discussions, and this Thursday will be on ranked choice voting and talking to voters and residents. It'll be in Spanish, Bangla, Mandarin, and Nepali. And we're really excited to share with everyone in our communities too, what ranked choice voting is about, and to make sure that all of us are aware and educated about how important it is for our democracy. So thank you all so much.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Shekhar. All right. And now I'll pass it over to Harold Miller.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I just want to thank Rank the Vote for getting us on this call. It's a great collection of organizers I see here. And for me, I wanted to just take the responsibility of making sure we educate our community about ranked choice voting. Far too long, many sectors of our population have been left out of the process, and ranked choice voting gives an opportunity to have greater participation, greater voice. We want to make sure that especially marginalized communities in our districts have a greater say. And so it's an exciting process. Obviously we have some hesitation with the Board of Election, but with a bunch of badass organizers on this call, I know we could get it done and make sure our communities are well aware and well prepared for ranked choice voting. Also, I just wanted to say this, for those who oppose it, I can understand, but the one thing it really bothers me particularly is that, folks saying that we're not smart enough to figure this out. It plays into oppressor language that we speak about ourselves like that, and we gotta stop that. Folks are very well educated about how to choose candidates, choose voters, and so we need to make sure that we just give folks the tools. But but it does bother me when people say that we're not smart enough to figure these things out. And so, I'm excited to participate in the trainings coming up with my family members. And so I look forward to it. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Harold. All right. I'll pass over to Michael Hollingsworth now.
Hey,
Sorry, I'm trying to multitask. Thanks for having me on this call. I had a whole speech written, but a lot of the stuff was already said by folks, so I don't want to rehash it. I just want to co-sign a lot of the stuff that people said. And, as an organizer, I appreciate the fact that we have lots of organizers who are running for city council and are doing this work. But I think it says a lot about where we are in this city when people who are running for office are doing the work of educating voters, and people who were actually elected have basically abdicated their duty to educate voters. So I think that's super telling to me. But I'm glad that there are folks who are running for city council who are willing to pick up the responsibility that our selected officials have dropped. So again, I appreciate everybody who's doing this work on the ground. Thanks for organizing this. My campaign, we're going to do phone banking this week to talk to voters about ranked choice voting, answer questions. I forgot to say I'm running for city council in District 35. So that is Fort Greene, Clinton Hill, Prospect Heights, parts of Bed-Stuy, and parts of Crown Heights. Thanks again for having me today.
Of course. Thank you so much, Michael. And with that, it looks like we've heard from all of these amazing candidates. I'll now pass it over to the press if you guys have any questions for these folks.
Yeah, and if you are a candidate on the call and somehow we have missed you in the run-in show, please, we would love to have you speak. So do let us know, and if any press has any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat. Although I think I can't imagine having any questions, very efficient. And everyone has my email address to reach out afterwards, and we will be putting out this video as well. Give folks a minute or two. I'll show my face. All right, I think that we are good. I so appreciate everyone getting on.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, that's
great
all.
rest of your day. Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care.
You're
Thanks,
all right. Bye, y'all.
Have a great day.